minutes for February 21st meeting, which I have here. There was a, I need a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of, February 21st, 2024.
And I'll second it. And there was a change, right?
Yeah, under the assessors, I had worded it wrong, so it's corrected now.
Okay.
Okay.
Was there any other discussion on those minutes?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So, adjustments to the agenda. We were gonna move, talked about moving the library.
Yep. Let's do that front and center.
Up front and center. Any other adjustments to the agenda? Okay.
Don't believe so.
Alright, so are we doing it now or then appointments? Or are we doing,
Yeah,
okay,
let's do it now and then appointments.
okay,
Spare them
okay.
going through that list.
And the library's gonna be short and sweet and wonderful and, okay. We have a busy night tonight, so that's all, no worries. Yep.
Alright, well, thank you for giving us any time at the beginning. So we're here, as you already know, to ask your support for our application to the U.S. Treasury Fund Capital Improvements Grant for libraries. The specific goal of this grant is to address critical building improvements to ensure Vermonters have access to high-speed internet to directly enable work, education, and health monitoring at their local public libraries. So we've been working really closely with Rural Edge over the past year to identify priorities and to develop a proposal that we feel is in alignment with the criteria of the
Royal Edge is here with you tonight.
So, exactly. So the project addresses essential repairs to the building and infrastructure upgrades to make sure that the building can continue to function as a library in the future. To that end, the trustees are also committed to developing a strategic and committed to working on a strategic planning process to develop a long-term plan for the library. So I don't want to say any more and take up your time. I want to take the opportunity to introduce Patrick Shattuck and Becky Mashur from Rural Edge to speak to any questions that you might have. I also have a letter of support that I've drafted should, if we have your support for it.
Okay, which we had some discussion on this about the grant and including Royal Edge and for the whole part of the grant for improvements to the building and so on and so forth, which there is some concerns on some improvements on the building, so that's good.
So I think, I know I've had a few conversations outside of official meetings about it. I will say, I think, and I hope I didn't come off as too harsh at the last meeting, but I think it's really important, especially with the library, to understand the historic, I think, I wouldn't say significance, but the history behind why the library is where it is, how it ended up there, how the building has been utilized, but also I think it's important for us to understand what that future is of the library as an organization, institution, and understanding, I think the desire both of the library but also of the town as to where the library should be long term. That's really my concern, more so than anything. The biggest thing that I'll say about the library is, as much as the community building is a center to the town, a lot of things gravitate around the library, and especially with a lot of the grant money that we've gotten for improvements within the town, a lot of that ties into a centerpiece that is the library, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that. It's good to be able to position ourselves, and I think that's where this grant will help, is to position both Rural Edge and the library and the town of Groton in a place that will allow us in the future to keep the library there in perpetuity, and have the ability, if the town so chooses, and the facility is, I say the facility, the property and the building is such that we're willing to accept it, that is an option and that's there. And that's all part, I think, with the work that I did when I first started with the trustees, the work that Deb and I have, Deb Juris and I have done kind of preliminarily with establishing the lease and the other portions of the relationship that we have with Rural Edge now. So that's kind of where my, I think that's just where my thoughts lie with how we can do this.
Yeah, so I have a copy of the lease if anybody's interested, but all these plans do nothing but improve the building. So it's just all good, really, making the building better for the future. I mean, honestly, it fits perfectly with, all the goals. A paint job, better new roof, all those things just enhance the actual building.
Absolutely. Okay, and that's good, that's good. But let's let Royal Edge talk for a minute.
Sure. Good evening. I'm Patrick Shattuck. I'm the executive of Rural Edge. I was also a Groton resident and for full disclosure, a library trustee when the library was developed there. I wasn't at Rural Edge at that time. So as you likely know, we are in year 5 of a 10-year lease for the library space. And the town maintains an option to purchase that building for $1 at any time. So that creates some challenges for us as a property owner to make large-scale capital improvements, because you folks could say, well, we want it for $1 at any time. And the intent of that project was always to have the library as a focal point of the community, and think it's really important. The project's actually almost 20 years old. And we're now looking at major capital improvements for this summer for roofs on the other buildings and exterior painting. And so really wanted to take this opportunity to work with the trustees to bring that facility to the point where it continues to serve the community well and is positioned to serve the community well into the future. And so, I think what we've looked at is some of the things that the grant speaks to, such as air quality. How do we make sure that there's better airflow through the building, which were not requirements, which were not things that were anticipated when the project was originally developed? How do we make sure that it's more energy efficient? How do we respect both the historic nature as well as make sure that it fits the needs of the library and the community? And two, how do we make sure that folks who live in Groton have reliable access to the internet, even when the library is not open? So we've really worked together to develop this. This is Rebecca Mashur. She's our Director of Real Estate Development, who's worked really closely with the trustees and would serve as project manager. So because we are the property owner, construction contracts would be administered by us. We need to get bridge financing because this grant is reimbursable. So we incur costs, we assume the risk. So I was speaking with the Vermont Community Loan Fund about the bridge financing for that, and they would look for an assignment of the grant in case anything went wrong to protect their interests, because they can't get security in a building that has a $1 option on it. But want to make sure that all those tools are in place, and we're all working collectively to advance this project for the future of the library in the town.
Okay. But I understand it that the library is applying for the grant, am I correct? And Rural Edge is going to benefit from that per se, building-wise, so on and so forth, am I correct?
Well, it's just for improvements to the library building. So the town maintains the option at any time.
But there's a little bit more than just the building. There's tenants in the building other than just the library.
It is not any improvements related to the residential space.
Okay.
So it's the windows in the library space.
Okay.
It's everything related to the library space. It adds heat pumps to the library space. It doesn't address any of the residential space. Even though when that was originally laid out, it was designed that that space was accessible so that if at some point the library needed to expand, that would be available.
Which there was, I thought, maybe some discussion about that as far as the grant, making the library bigger and more usable, and am I correct?
Yeah, and ultimately we were looking to the trustees for the guidance on that. I mean, of course, our lease is set at the operating costs of the library space. So if you put an addition on, or you double the size of your library, the operating costs are more. And so those are considerations for the town, who ultimately has the responsibility of the lease.
Okay.
So if this only affects the library portion, like, from the grant perspective, you know, and obviously with a residential tenant space as part of the building itself, is Rural Edge taking on, I think, similar improvements to that space as well, for the potential that down the road, when those tenants may leave, or the library, or the town is looking to expand the library into that space, that we're not then going through this again, or is...
Well, so it's configured as a residential unit, so we've replaced flooring in it, you know, and anytime there's a unit turnover, and that particular household has been in that unit for a long time. So we've actually gone in, because they've been there so long, and replaced their flooring. So, you know, there's ongoing maintenance of a unit, but we aren't making major capital improvements to that unit at this time, because it's well maintained.
But we've had some issues recently with upkeep of the buildings and maintenance of the buildings, with the roof is falling off and so on. And Dan has worked with some of that stuff, so are we gonna continue to have like an issue with the maintenance and stuff with the building and stuff?
Well, what I would say is, you know, there have been major improvements to the septic system made this last year. We've got bids and are getting ready to execute bids on roofs for the general store building and the Lausanne building, looking at this season, looking to replace them with metal like we did at Clark's Landing and snow guards, so that they are better positioned.
Okay, there's been some kind of, we've had to continuously, Dan has worked to continuously deal with some problems, and so we're just...
And what I would always say is, you know, I think our staff is responsive, and if they aren't, I think everyone here knows how to get a hold of me. So, you know, and I haven't received that.
Okay. Larry? I know you're new, but...
I'm listening.
Okay. Dorothy?
So I had a question, you said, I'm not sure what I heard, but I think you said with financing, if you're going out for financing, that you would not be able to still have the town have the option to buy the property for $1? Is that
what we'd have to do is have some sort of assignment of those proceeds. So acknowledging that the grant is for the repairs and would take out the construction debt.
But the town would still have the option of it all?
The lease is not going to change. It's just going to provide the company with the Vermont Community Loan Fund, which we actually spoke with them this afternoon. They were involved in the original construction of the library as a funding source, and are familiar with it. And, you know, they just need to make sure that there's a mechanism for them to be paid off, which would be the grant funds.
Correct, yeah. So it's just documenting
It's just documenting
that
it.
finance form.
And because the town would ultimately be the recipient,
I got you.
sort of an assignment of grant.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm supportive. I'm supportive of the project. I think, you know, to what Deb said, it's all good. I mean, this is everything that we can do to improve this, and make sure that the library as it is taken care of, but the plan for the library in the future is there. I mean, it's a good thing. So, you know, I'd say I'm in support of it.
Okay. Dan, did you want, I mean, you've been involved with all that, is all this seem good, and do you have any
Because
comments?
I'm kind of surprised about the rental space above the library. The continuing issue with the black mold is being addressed now, and it started to be fixed this last week. So that's a step forward.
Okay,
And the thing is, this is a grant from the library, for the library.
but
It's library money that we're tapping into. And the library is different from all the other buildings, even though they're all maintained and owned by Rural Edge. It's just like separate.
And, you know, to speak to that, and I don't want to talk to anything that really identifies any tenant, as soon as that was called in, there was a mold abatement firm that was engaged to deal with that. And then their response didn't address it, and as it was, the further issue was identified, each step, we responded.
okay. I'm just trying to cover, to make sure we're.
I think the important thing too about this project and the monies is that we're not asking the townspeople or the taxpayers of the community to for any of it. It would be coming from, it's coming from ARPA funds that the state set aside specifically for libraries. It's going to be a very competitive grant. There's $16.1 million available, and the scope of our grant is, going to be smaller than what other larger municipal libraries might be asking for. But this is an opportunity for us to access funds that it's a one-time deal.
Okay.
So we've pulled things together very quickly. In the last month, but again, the project was being scoped out over the past year. So.
The Department of Libraries announced this over a year ago and said it's going to be coming. So we were meeting to sort of talk about things that might fit into the scope so that we could plan accordingly, knowing that it was competitive, so that we would be in the best position to be able to avail these funds for the library.
So I think some of the specifics, just so that we know what we're talking about, right, is new roof, windows, HVAC. There's like some funds set us, I know there was investment in the septic system, which has, been a challenge for that community of buildings and was disrupted this past summer, or in 2023, I can't remember specifically when.
Right.
But that is something that we have asked them to make sure that there is something set aside, even though it is, was addressed as a repair by Rural Edge already. We have earmarked, septic to make sure that there is something, if something comes up, that there's funding aside to address that. Really trying to make this a lean and targeted grant that addresses those critical envelope repairs so that the structure of the library is viable.
Okay, so I guess my final thing would be, what's the liability of the town on this grant?
I was just going to say that in response to the septic, that's a very convoluted system, as we all know.
Right.
And even more so going back to enlarging, according to our zoning bylaws, that library cannot be enlarged.
Okay.
As in, here, just, can you clarify that, Dan?
Sure, setbacks. It's
Right.
too close to property
Right,
lines.
you're talking about actual additions to.
Additions.
And so, I mean, again, my thought with some of that too, it kind of goes back to my first question, is really connected to the tenant space and, is there a long-term plan or a thought long-term from the library trustees that space would eventually be absorbed into the library? Because if that's the case, the one thing I would be concerned with HVAC systems or new windows is we're doing that in the library space now, and in 5 years we take over the tenant space. We're going to have to do all of that work in that tenant space as well. So just kind of food for thought, I guess.
That's really not, we're not gonna be tenant, we're not, That's what we've had this whole thing with the library.
No, what I'm saying is if the current tenants in the residential space were to vacate for whatever reason, then the library wanted to expand into that space, or had a plan or thought to do that within that building, you know, then what?
I have a question, Patrick. How would that work with a septic system if the town was to purchase the library?
So it would then be sort of a shared condominium agreement, so the option says it would be subject to a negotiated then joint maintenance agreement, because the parking's shared, the
Yes.
septic shared, the water supply is shared.
Okay.
So then that would come back to my final question. What is the town's liability? What will the town's liability be on this grant? What's our, as a select board, we're gonna sign off for the grant, what's our,
You mean financial liability?
yeah, what's the liability on the town?
Or do you mean the responsibility of the?
Yeah, what part would we have in this? Anything?
In the end, it would be, because we're a municipal library.
Yep.
If we would receive the grant, my understanding is that the town would sign the agreement, and it's a grant where the project would be reimbursed as it goes along.
Running through the town?
Right, yes.
Through
So
the town.
so that gets a little bit more.
Well, so that's why there's an assignment. You folks receive the funds and it's reimbursement. So really, all the financial risk is with us. We sign the construction contract. The construction loan is secured by us.
But the funds are running
and everything.
through the town?
But I guess if you're talking about long-term restrictions, it's my understanding that because there is a long-term lease, we meet the eligibility requirements, and it's for those one-time capital improvements, and that's why it's reimbursed.
Right, the grant money, in essence, would be similar to what our other ARPA funds were. It would come into our budget. It would come through the library budget, really, but it would
But
come
we're
through
in
the town.
charge of the project, was the whole, I'm just trying to clarify
It's
what.
reimbursable.
Right.
Are
It's
we
reimbursable.
paying it first? No.
No, that's why we're getting a construction
So they're
loan.
gonna get the loan.
So we're paying for it,
So,
and
yeah,
that's why there has to be the assignment of the grant proceeds.
This is the important stuff, we need to
Yeah.
know where.
We have to have the money up front, so it'd be hard
Yeah,
to.
so you don't need it. So we have included in the project budget the loan origination fees and the interest, so that's part of the project.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, so basically, in essence, they're taking the financial liability. All we're gonna do is disperse funds that come from the grant to reimburse for the loan.
Right, just like we show copies of all of the invoices, and then you'd make the request to the Department of
Is that all,
Libraries. for
is that all
reimbursement.
laid out in the grant proposal? Or I would say transversely, you know, once we provide support and the grant proposal is submitted, you've done the loan portion, that we would have a legally binding document that would basically connect that, so.
Yes, so there's basically the equivalent of a real estate closing, where all of that is memorialized, and all the grant conditions from the Department of Libraries have to be met, which include all sorts of documentation.
So the big thing would
So
just be
we said
making
that,
sure.
I mean, is there
It
anything
sounds,
that-
no, sounds right.
Okay.
We would just have to have the
Okay.
town attorney review it and before we sign it and all that, so. It seems copacetic.
We don't pay for it first.
No, that's why we're
They're
getting
getting
a
a loan.
construction loan, so that, because we have the construction contract, they invoice us, we draw on the loan, pay it, then it's a paid invoice, we submit it to you to request for the reimbursement.
So it's
Reimbursement
reimbursable
comes
for
to
you, but not-
You
yeah.
come to us,
Yeah.
and we repay the loan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normally when we have a reimbursable grant, we're paying it
Right,
upfront.
because you're the folks
Yeah.
executing the
So now
contract.
that'll be you.
In this case,
Yeah.
right. And that's why we made sure when the grant was unveiled, that it was dealt with for eligibility, that a long-term lease was sufficient for the library or town.
So I guess the only other question question would be, if you secure the loan, yet the grant falls through, then what? Like, if we don't get the grant, if the grant isn't approved.
Well, we aren't going to close, it would be all simultaneous closing.
Okay.
So we aren't going to draw any funds or sign a construction contract
Until we know that there's
until we know that
security.
there's a grant.
Gotcha,
Right.
perfect, okay. Makes
So we
sense.
wanted to sort of lay these things out, get it all here. Once we worked with the trustees, had a scope everyone agreed upon, so that everyone knew sort of what the timeline is. And so the application deadline is next week. With anticipated decision.
Late summer, midsummer?
I think it was early summer, I thought. But it all depends on the review committee that the Department of Libraries has set up.
Okay, so I have one final question. So if this grant, you don't get this grant, okay, and nothing happens, what's the plan?
So there's
So there's a second round of funding available through HUD, specifically allocated to rural libraries. And the way that the Department of Libraries has set this up is that you can use a very similar application to apply for the second round of funding. So I think the first step would be to take the work that we've already done and apply for the second round.
Okay.
After
It'll be put out in the fall.
which is in the fall. They don't have any specific dates yet for when they will open that grant, nor have they identified any of the criteria specifically that grant would be looking for. They're kind of addressing this one first, and then that as a second
Okay,
follow-up.
so the building's gonna get a new roof whether there's any grant money or not eventually, am I
Well,
correct?
so we're working on the other buildings right now.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, the capital needs of the building are, I mean, when you signed the lease, you had an inspection. And so, you know, we do regular inspections and capital needs planning and budgeting. So this has been in our pipeline for improvements.
Okay, that was a yes?
Well, yeah, I mean, just like we just replaced the roof on Clark's Landing a couple of years ago, which was developed a couple of years beforehand. Every project is planned for and capital needs scheduled and budgeted.
So that this summer is getting a new roof down here?
We've got, not for the library building, but the other ones we've got, we were just talking today about cutting a check for the 50% deposit.
Right, because the Luzon building has had several complaints.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
there's shingles falling off and striking people.
So just checking and trying to see.
We're aware. and
Priority
I
and
think-
severity.
I think, you know, we know historic buildings are expensive to maintain.
Well, I'm not, okay, we're not gonna get into that, I get it. So, okay.
No, Larry, my question is, how do you go about with getting the dollar amount for the grant? With the looks of the roof on all of those buildings, how much damage has been done underneath?
There's
There's
Nothing.
nothing.
It has- we don't have any
All right.
evidence of leaks.
All of a sudden,
No.
you apply for a grant for X amount of
No,
dollars.
that is why we're constantly monitoring, and
Okay.
we've identified, and we thought we had a funding source last year, but we've been setting aside to,
Yeah, okay. I mean, that would be my concern, that it's been let go for.
no, I mean,
Okay, yeah, okay.
The library roof and the other roofs are different.
Right.
If you look at the library
Yeah.
roof, it's not as bad as the
No,
other.
well, you know what I think it is it is just the exposure to the ultraviolet light. The library has shaded,
Yeah, yeah.
and the others are full exposure. And it just deteriorates your building materials. So that's why we're looking at a metal roof.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, so,
Letter of support? We should probably sign that maybe, and that's a good
We
next step.
probably
right?
won't get this first grade.
Come on now, be positive.
It's a long letter.
Kristen's,
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
the first one.
It is public
let's go, do you wanna do a vote, or do you wanna we can just sign it, we don't need to
Make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for the select board to sign the letter of support for the, US Treasury Capital Projects Fund for Libraries Grant Review Committee.
Okay.
I did that on purpose.
I second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. All right. Yep, thanks. I know you're supposed to sign above your name.
Whatever.
If you have any questions, Zach knows.
Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll couple your cards around. Give it a minute, I think, for library.
Yeah, you guys don't have to stay or anything. You can
Unless you really want to.
get out of here.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
good.
All right.
And I guess the only other thing I'd bring up, the VHIT program, which is the Vermont Housing Improvement Program, provides grants to private landlords and homeowners of up to $50,000 to create accessory dwelling units in their homes. We administer that. So that if folks want to create, if they have an attached barn or shed and want to create a unit, we just got a new tranche of funding. So $50,000 of grant goes a long way to helping folks create units, and that is completely grant for homeowners.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick.
So, we'll just start working on.
Starting appointments?
Yeah,
All right.
start working on appointments. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah's gonna stick around. You wanna stick around?
Okay, so,
Let's start the appointments.
we'll start the appointments.
Now, we don't need just as a reminder, we don't need a motion on these. We just need to decide and then go from there.
Okay. So, select board chair.
You still wanna be the chair?
I still would
Be the
like to
chair.
be the chair, but if I had to, whatever, then you,
I'll be, yep,
okay,
I'll be the assistant. There we go.
okay. Secretary, select board secretary, which we have a new candidate, as long as she doesn't quit. Okay, that's good. So Harley, you'll do that, okay, and you'll be the assistant. Do we have an assistant?
Yeah,
Select
select
board,
board assistant.
Yep,
select board assistant, well,
Lisa,
Lisa for now.
Okay.
Maybe once we get Harley trained, she can do that too if she wants.
Let's not scare her.
Okay.
Let's just let her do minutes.
so we have select board member to receive bank statements, it was Aaron Smith,
So this is, every month you'll get we have lots of bank accounts. What is
Yep.
it, 17?
Email.
And you'll get, bank statements that you should review, and then the auditors want you to actually physically, after they've been reconciled, to look at, the bank statements in the office.
Take the bank statement and look at the reconciliation sheets and just,
I made a form so it would be easy to flow, so somebody has to do
That's
that.
every month, right? Or is
Yes.
that, yeah,
Yes, every month you get it, so you'd have to come in the next month to do the previous month, you know.
right.
you know.
so, Larry, you wanna take on something like that yet, or?
I don't know.
You wanna hold off, believe me,
hold off.
you don't have to take on, but I wanna make sure you don't feel left out.
No, I won't feel like that.
And I wanted to, I should have
Zach would do a good
I should have
job.
done it, welcomed you for the new select board member for this year, so. I know, well, we got
Had all that extra
we
time.
got off, we got off to a rough start here, so, okay, so Zach, it's
Yeah.
you or me?
I guess I'll do it.
Well, we need you to come in, Zach,
Yep.
and do it,
We'll have to come in and do it.
okay?
Yeah.
I can meet you here at 6:30 in the morning.
And
Put
if
it
and
you
it
on
can
need
just be
to.
left out for you. You
Yeah,
could
I
come
left the
in
books out in a box
Okay.
for
You can just sit
Aaron, and
there
he never
when-
came.
Early morning or
No,
later
I
evening,
know.
we don't have to be there, you can
Okay.
just.
Once you
I
get the
know.
hang of what you're doing, then you can just do it.
All right.
Yeah.
And
if
we'll figure
you-
out what we need.
If it does, yeah, if it doesn't work, we can figure it out.
I can come.
Okay.
If we don't hear from Zach for a few
Yeah.
months, then we're gonna
Yeah,
go.
if you walk me through it, yeah.
When,
I
the
have
first,
time.
like the first week of the month for the previous month, or
Well,
like middle of the month for the previous month, or?
Just do middle.
yeah, middle's safer.
Okay.
How long is it gonna take?
I don't know. I
You
mean,
don't know. Yeah.
Aaron hasn't come in,
Yeah,
so
so
I don't
oh.
know.
So it didn't take him long.
It wouldn't be long, I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I think the first
I mean,
time would be
you-
the longest.
Yeah,
'cause
you're
then
not
you gotta understand
examining,
it.
you're just gonna see stuff, if it jumps out at you, that something
Yeah.
that's.
Like if all the checks are made out to
Almost do it like-
Carrie and, you know.
Before the second meeting of every month, as long as it's done before
Yeah.
the second meeting of every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I can do
Okay.
it, I'll do it.
All right,
And if I can't do it, I'll let everybody know.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
We'll let everyone know.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, yeah, you do that.
select board member to sign weekly warrants and POs, which is
So
me.
usually somebody is assigned that can easily pop in when warrants and, you know, PO limits need to be authorized and signed.
Which is fine.
So it's usually been Tristan, so,
Which is fine,
okay.
no problem.
This one, I need a motion to approve that one select board can sign warrants and POs and you don't require two. I learned that on a training.
Okay, yeah,
So
'cause
like at a
that's,
meeting, then more will sign, but for it to happen, only one needs to sign.
Right, so.
Right, right.
Like if
I'll-
highway needed something.
right,
Yeah.
which we do that.
Yeah, we
just-
do that, but we haven't really formally
Yeah.
did a
Okay.
motion.
Okay.
Well, I think, didn't we do that last year too?
I
I
don't,
can't
maybe,
remember.
I don't know.
But yeah, it makes sense. I'll make a motion for, one select board to sign warrants and POs, instead of requiring two, when the need arises.
Okay, I second it. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Okay, so, but that's not, it's not a specific person, it's just,
Yeah, just a
Right.
motion.
Right,
Just
okay.
just
Allow
one of
it.
the three of us,
Right.
it doesn't require a quorum
Right,
to have approvals, yeah, for
Right.
those PO sign-offs.
right. So posting sites for select board meetings.
So,
Post office, Groton Tire, and the website, and the town clerk's office.
Okay, and Lisa, your name's down, so you usually do that, or
well,
what, does
I
it matter?
think that goes to Harley now, she's gonna
Okay,
be
so
doing the
Harley-
agenda and she will post it.
I bring it to the in-laws, I bring it to post office.
And then we can do the one at the office, yeah, website.
website,
And bills.
Groton Tire.
That's not.
Yeah, that's fine, in-laws.
Oh, you said in-laws.
Posted the story, didn't we? One time?
Years ago.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's. Okay, good. Excellent. Select board will hold meetings first and third Wednesdays at 6 p.m., which we do that, but in the summertime, we've
That's
had
the
Yeah,
some.
the
next
next line,
That's,
Oh.
yeah.
I hadn't got there yet,
Yeah.
okay. So,
So we're gonna keep it the first and third Wednesday at 6?
Yeah,
does that
Works
still
for
work?
everybody?
yeah, that's fine, I mean, I think so. 6:30 might be better,
okay,
but we don't wanna be here forever either, so. No, I think 6 is fine,
whatever, if it's up to you,
It's been
you
working.
guys.
for the most
It
part.
works for me, I mean, well,
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, alright, so,
I think
agreed.
Wednesdays are still better than, or they were
Thursday.
Tuesdays before, or they were
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesdays
It's
is
nice
better.
because then we have a day after to
then we have a
follow
work
up.
day after
Business
for
day
anything that
after.
happens, we
Right,
can
right, right.
For a
tackle.
follow-up,
Yep.
yeah,
No, it's
works
to me.
good. Okay, good. Select board meetings, June, July, August, one meeting a month, first Wednesday of the month. Is what we've been doing. Are we still good with that?
Yep,
I think it's a nice break.
Yep.
unless it falls on a holiday like it will this year.
Oh, will it?
The 4th of July is a Wednesday.
Which we end up
Oh,
moving
it's
things around a
It
little
is,
bit.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Thursday.
No, I don't think so. I think
But it's Thunder Road, yes it is, I just looked at the
because it's
calendar.
a leap year.
Alright.
And it's usually
Alright,
should.
go
Let me
up.
look at my calendar.
Alright.
It's Thursday.
Is it Thursday? Oh, okay.
Oh, whoa,
I was wrong.
Okay,
okay,
I
so
thought it was. I thought
July
it was-
3rd it will be.
we're still good then. Yeah, you can't get out of that one. All right.
I was just
So,
thinking-
Is that good with you, Larry, too?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Groton website, webmaster, Carrie, and Lisa, is that still good?
Sounds a little weird, but yes, it'll be the webmasters.
What's that?
Webmaster.
that's what Gary called it.
I know.
I know. Okay, good. Constable, Mark Puffer,
Well,
which
that's
we,
now elected.
I was elected, yep.
right,
Mark filled out the rest of.
So you can look
Elected.
at the stipend, you see, that's how we had it, when we did when you did the wages.
I think we need to change that.
Oh, yeah?
Higher?
Incident.
Well, we have
40.
1,200 annually and 400 per call. I mean, 40 per call.
400 per call?
I think I'm gonna give up my resignation as select board member.
He said 40 per call, but if a call goes beyond an hour, we were saying it would be an hourly rate, right? Or was it just 40?
I don't know.
I can't remember how we discussed it previously. Or maybe it was, we averaged a call at 2 hours and with reports and all that stuff.
Why
And then
wouldn't we just
stipend.
regularly go hourly plus mileage?
Maybe.
Which would make good, more sense.
It would make more sense to me. Because I don't foresee.
And you're saying no stipend, just,
But the stipend kind of covers you for being
Well, no.
the name and the
stipend,
call.
but then hourly plus
okay,
mileage.
okay,
I
But
don't
what's
see,
the hourly rate?
27 something,
No, $20.
right up.
that's what, would be the same as what it is for the zoning
Yes,
administrator, right?
same thing.
No, I think we changed that. Didn't we change that to 40?
I don't have the wages sheet.
40 per hour?
20 an hour, 40 a permit,
Yeah,
80 a month, 40 a permit, 20 an hour.
Okay,
for consultancy.
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
We do that.
so
I think that's the way to do it.
20 plus mileage.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't foresee there being a lot of 2-hour plus.
No, but at least you're covered if you need
I'm
be,
good with
whatever.
I'm
Okay,
good with that.
okay.
Right.
All right, that sounds good. If everybody's good with that,
Health
all
officer, we
good?
did.
Yes.
One other thing on that, I spoke with Will Seegers today, Vermont Game Warden for the area, and let him know that I may be doing some animal control. And I wanted to get information from him on who I needed to contact, what were the procedures and things, and he filled me in, so
Oh, good.
we're all set there.
Okay, great. Perfect. Excellent. Let's see, so assistant assessor, which is Dorothy.
Well, Dorothy, you want to keep being the assistant assessor?
Sure.
Okay, so that was easy.
There you go.
Do you want an adjustment on your rates an hour? Health officer, Dan? Okay,
So I think that should get,
That's a 3-year thing by the state.
that should get changed to the same thing, or else it's gonna be a nightmare keeping track of.
Right, yeah, it should be the same, $20 an hour.
And
Right.
stipend.
I would
Yes,
say,
the
yeah.
stipend and $20 an hour
Okay,
mileage.
are you
Okay.
good with that?
Yeah.
So 3-year term, Dan, so when did you start? Like-
It's gonna be March 31st, 2026.
Okay,
And,
Right, because we appointed you last year.
yeah,
all
Right.
right, I just didn't have the dates.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
okay. Deputy health officer is myself.
Okay, yeah, do you still want that? I think that position was created when Wade was the health officer, right?
Do we
And
need
Dan
that
was doing all the
position?
work.
And when,
Do we have to have that position?
I don't,
no, I don't think
I
it's a
didn't think
requirement.
No,
Like,
it's not a
health-
requirement.
Yeah, health officer was the requirement, so, I mean, as
Does it
long
make
as we.
sense to have a second one, like Dan,
In
you're going
case-
on your trip?
In case something happened and
Okay.
somebody else had to deal with something, which is
Yeah.
fine, I can,
This
Alright.
could be
okay.
Yeah.
assistant.
that's fine.
So do his, the stipend in 20 per call? Not
Right,
40,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay.
Okay,
You got that on there twice.
I got that.
On there twice.
Where?
Fire chief.
Oh, it's
yeah.
already right there.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry about
so fire chief, and generally it's done a little differently, but we did it a little differently this year, which I don't know, is that gonna continue to be? I don't know.
I think you made the motion or made the
We
decision to
did.
have it with all the other appointments.
We did.
We did, and it's still it's a recommendation from the fire department to us, which the recommendation that was made in December would still, I think from what we've decided would be valid still.
Correct.
So the question is do we want to accept that nomination or not? That is still a question that's out there. So.
Correct.
I guess, I mean, I think, that we should have, especially with the new select board member on board and concerns that were expressed previously, I would almost recommend a executive session for the select board to discuss that nomination to make a decision.
Okay, for personnel,
For personnel issues,
okay,
I guess would be the,
yep, I agree,
okay.
so that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So we'd like to talk, a motion,
I'll make a motion, I guess that's what I should have made a motion. I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Board?
Let's get the motion in a second, and it'll be discussion to the motion, is that all right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll move to go to executive session for personnel issues.
okay, and I second it.
All right, I think that means then.
A number of years ago, we had a person that wasn't qualified to be fire chief. They didn't have the experience and they didn't have the training and they weren't accepted by the department. One of those people that's sitting on the board is that individual. I think that individual shouldn't go to the executive session.
Okay, well, thank you for your concerns, and, we're gonna move forward.
I think that,
Extremely hard to have an unbiased opinion of the fire.
There's no
Well,
opinion here, and I don't think
I would
that.
say so, I'm not, I'm assuming you're referring to Tristan as that individual.
Whoever it is knows who it is.
It's me, and it's an opinion from you, so, but that has nothing to do with the board. You're addressing the board right now, and the board has something else they're dealing with.
So I would say in reference to the motion and in reference to the comment made, that's part of the reason why we've got, 3 members of the select board, so that if there is an unbiased, or if there is a biased opinion or a biased, that may be present with a member, that the other members of the select board would override that, most certainly, I would think, as a point of order. But again, I think it is important for us to discuss, issues, concerns, and otherwise that were brought to the attention so that we can make,
Of the board.
Of the board, but to make a clear and concise decision on what we would like to see. So that's why I'd like to go into executive session, so.
Yeah, this
we
isn't
can
personal,
protect the integrity of most certainly, of the individual that was nominated, and make sure that, that we understand what the decision is that we're making before we make it. So I appreciate your comments, Brent, and I think, you know, I will definitely take it under advisement as we go into executive session to discuss the matter.
Thank you.
650.
6:50, all right.
Or 215.
What, go upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 7:24. No decisions made.
Yes, that was time ago.
So, well,
Remember it was
we
2:30?
we can now discuss what decision we wanna make based off the information we've gathered.
Correct.
So, and I'm gonna do this as a motion just because it's been an issue previously, but, I'm gonna, make a motion to appoint, Wayne Knott, the, Groton Volunteer Fire Department Chief for 2024.
Okay, I would second that. Any other discussion on that?
I think, you know, Wayne, I think the charge that I'd like to give to you, kinda in the open is, you know, we know you've been the chief before for 18 years, you've been standing in as the interim chief while we've been kinda working through this, and I think the charge to you is, you know, let's start working on, you know, finding who, a good chief, you know, for the future is gonna be, that you can help train and mentor to take that position over for you, cause, you know, we, you know, recognize that you did it for 18 years, and I think, you know, based on the situation, circumstances in the fall, that you're stepping into this, as much as we've had you in an interim role, you're not wanting to be the chief long-term for the fire department. I think, we recognize that you're wanting to help move the fire department in the right direction, and to be able to bring the right people into that fold to help the next generation of Groton volunteer firefighters, so, yeah, so I have to say about that. Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Fire report. I didn't have one typed up, but we had 2 people attend the heavy duty water rescue.
Hold on a second, we have a motion on.
Yeah, we got, let's, let us finish the motion here and then.
All right.
Yeah.
They're gonna do the appointments.
We gotta get through our appointments. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so, welcome, chief. And we do have to get through our appointments, so.
We're gonna move quick.
Okay, so, forest fire warden, which I'm, Steven, yeah, bachelor, okay. Head of service for fast,
Derek Curtis.
oh, it's
Is it
changed,
Derek?
Yeah.
okay. Derek,
Curtis, that's his last
Yeah.
one.
yeah.
Couldn't for the life of me think of what his last name was.
911 coordinator is,
Brent still?
Brent? He's
Dan.
here. You accept it?
okay, Brent. Emergency management coordinator, Brent.
Thanks, Brent.
NVDA representative, Brent. NVDA.
We'll give you a copy of the list. Yeah.
NVDA administrator.
Alternative.
Alternate.
Oh,
Alternate.
alternate.
Jeez.
Mark Glacier.
Glacier.
Glacier, yep.
Glacier.
Him.
Okay, that's still good?
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
I'll send letters, so we'll
Okay,
find out.
zoning administrator,
Dan.
you already got appointed,
Yep.
3
So
years.
2026?
2026.
Right, 2026.
Okay, zoning board of adjustment,
I did talk to Aaron and he said he still was willing to be on that,
Okay,
okay.
sounds good.
Aaron.
and then send letters to all 3.
Yep, Sounds good.
Okay. Good. Animal control officer. Michelle Boyer, but,
No, she's not.
Yeah.
She's
right,
just the pound.
she's just the pound now,
She
right?
should be the pound keeper.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I'm handling the animal control.
so Dan Webster.
Yep. So
So same deal on the
pound keeper would be,
$20
Pound keeper would be Michelle
and,
Boyer.
and that's laid out separately, that's
Yeah,
not
that's that
necessarily
contract
an
that was
appointment,
signed.
right?
Yeah.
So that means we would basically appoint Dan as the animal control officer as
Yeah.
well.
and then you got an assistant? Do you need an assistant?
The size of the dog.
Yeah.
So how much are we paying the pound keeper? I missed that.
I was-
That was that
That's,
contract.
that's
that we already
contract,
signed.
yeah,
I don't remember
I know,
it.
we have
So
to get
Usually
it.
it's $500.
yeah. I don't
that's what we
That's
was.
what, that's what was already, yeah.
Right, but that would be, it ends up being separate than the
Okay, so
appointment.
that's for the pound keeper, and then Dan will get what?
Well, Dan will get the animal control, the $500 stipend and then the $40 or $20 an hour.
So it will be tricky this year if we had any animals go to pound keeper, because we only have budgeted $500
Right.
between
Right, which
all
we
of our
don't,
fees, which could be none, but could be,
and it's
Right.
pretty slim, we end up, it's pretty rare.
Right, right,
I
right.
think we transported one last year.
Even then though, those expenses go back to the,
some goes to the town.
If they
Just
pay.
Depends on what happens.
if they, well, it would still. it would
We
go-
So
still
then
need
it's
to call.
$20 per call, is that what you're saying, or are we back to 40?
I thought it was $20
$20
per
an hour.
hour,
Per hour, okay.
which would be
With
the
a
same
minimum
as
of 1
everything
hour.
else that we're
Any-
doing.
All right,
any
just
call would
trying
be-
to clear.
To keep it
All right,
Yeah,
on the
So-
same,
any call, or, yeah, any call would be a minimum of 1 hour's work, I'm assuming, right, Dan, does that sound right?
That's up to you guys, I don't.
Well, I mean, if you go out and and you're only out there for 15 minutes, that's a call for
An hour.
$20, we count it as an hour.
well, we have this thing, that's a 2-hour minimum call, for like the
No,
highway.
I think 1 hour is.
Okay, I just putting it out there.
Yeah, that would probably apply for the road, the road
Okay.
crew, more than it would apply for this kind of thing.
All right,
okay, NEK Solid Waste Supervisor, Tim Daly, is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
He's still doing it.
NEK Solid Waste alternate,
No, Miss will still do it, I'm sure.
okay, Church Clock Winder. We still, yeah,
That's the thing, yeah.
yeah.
We definitely have to wind the clock.
Aaron
Yeah.
didn't Aaron used to do it? Aaron did it,
was
Aaron did it for a
guessing.
while, yeah.
yeah. Joe
Joe Lorenko.
Lorink,
Yep.
okay. Agent to convey real estate, Deb Juris.
Yeah.
Okay, tree warden, Steve Murray, I'm assuming that's good. Town report preparation, Lisa Hart,
Amen.
so that's still
Carrie.
good, and Carrie Peters.
Still good.
In IT, Gary Lamberton, I'm sure that's still good, Green Up Coordinator, Alyssa
Alyssa.
Smith, I
Yep.
don't know.
I think
We'll
so.
just send her a letter.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's under a letter, I think she still
Yeah.
is, but.
there's nobody else, okay. CUD representative,
I'm sure he still
Dice.
wants to stay on.
okay,
And then
CUD.
there's only one alternate, you can take me off, and Terrence took my,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
Terrence took my spot.
oh, all right,
I'm sure
Terrence.
that he'll stay on.
Right.
Okay. Vermont Housing State Closeout Agreement Officers at Conaway, and if you still,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll go a lot quicker this time, now I know what I'm.
Second-
well, yeah, well, yeah,
Second officer
Still went
Lisa, you still doing,
yeah.
okay. Fire extinguisher monthly check, which, who was doing
It
that?
was-
Wade's been.
It was
Wade.
Mark, and now Junior's doing it, so.
Okay, so that's good. Shovel walks, gymnasiums, yeah, bachelor, Sean Gilbert, which that's still good.
Yep.
Maintenance work, Steve Hart, is he still gonna do that?
I think so.
Well, he's gotta fix that door. ARPA contract one, Aaron Smith, so,
Need
what is
somebody new
that?
For that, that's ARPA,
ARPA, the big money.
just for signing
But I
stuff
don't
and
know
going in.
Is there much that we do with that really
Well,
now?
we'll have to report again in April, so yeah, you'll have to, whoever it is, has to be able to get on to
Alright.
the site.
I can do that.
Great,
Larry, you
thanks.
wanna sign for the big project, the grant?
Yeah, you should, that's an easy one.
You said you could do it.
Yeah, but then I
No,
just remembered I didn't have time.
Oh, okay.
He's got all the
I gotta do
We gotta
something.
give you
I gotta do
something.
something, so you sure.
Oh, so it's you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess, don't know what I'm doing yet.
Oh,
Alright.
I'll figure it out.
That's how it
town
goes.
attorney
Right?
Carolyn Greaves, is that still good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
newspaper, record Bridge Weekly, okay, foliage coordinator, Zach, are you still doing that? I didn't even know you did that.
Well, we started to do that
Right.
last year, kind of
Didn't really
fizzled
amount.
You wanna
out.
just remove it, it's not like it's some
Isn't it what?
statute
we
thing.
just-
Yeah, but isn't Nancy doing it for the community club type thing? Is
Yeah.
that the same?
Nancy or Sasha
Well,
Emerson
that's
too is.
for them.
For them, not for
But
the
that's,
town.
yeah, that's a community club.
I know, but it's still
Yeah.
they put it all together, don't they? What do we do?
Well, we can just leave Zach's name and he could be a contact
Yeah,
person.
we'll
for
just
the
leave
town.
Zach's name.
I'll see if I can do something with
Yeah.
it.
Planning commission,
That's a 3-year term, you know,
Yeah, those, we don't appoint those are all.
Okay, so those shouldn't even be on the list anymore?
yeah, they shouldn't be on the list then. Okay,
And don't they have
Well, they
terms
do
that
get
expire?
appointed, but they
Yes.
have a term.
they expire after 3 years.
But it looks
So
like,
I don't
are
know
they
Like
all
they've
up
been on
this
for a
year?
little while.
I
Well,
think so.
I think Mike Namias is the only one we have to appoint because there's a stipend.
The other ones have been on for a while. I don't know when they started. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to look
I don't know, I
back.
guess I gotta find out.
okay,
I'll look up the, if I can, I don't know.
Okay.
Look it up.
I mean, Mike
Are we
Mike
still
Namias
doing-
will
we're-
still be the chair, so.
Yes.
yes,
I believe the planning commission is appointed by the select board.
okay.
It's supposed to be for 3-year term.
Right.
I think, Mike Welch would be a real good person to,
Reach out.
contact about that because he knows all the statutes and,
He's on
Yeah.
that list.
yeah. So your planning commission doesn't change each year, if, you know, so the idea of the 3 years is that, your planning commission could change gradually. So you do have a very active planning commission and,
Yes.
We
so,
want to keep that continuity going.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Alright, then the last are all not required. I don't know if you wanna keep going with that, or,
I mean, I think we didn't get letters back
yeah.
from some of them, so I don't know if you
As
want.
far as I'm concerned, I don't know why we keep,
I mean, they're Vermont traditions.
they're Vermont traditions.
That's
So we
about
can
it.
still send out letters like we have in the past to these people, or we just, what do you guys think?
We probably need a different way of call, cause Frank's not.
In town?
Right.
Okay. Larry, would you like to be the wearer of coal?
Sure, can't imagine it's too busy.
Oh, I think that was a
I
very
don't
long
think-
time
When was the
ago.
last time the state anywhere had to wear a coal that was?
That's
called-
why they're not required.
That's
Right.
They're over with, but.
Yeah, I,
Like,
yeah.
we don't have enough to do without
Unless
having to do
somebody-
that.
I mean,
Unless
it's more
It's up-
letters I gotta write, so I.
Yeah, so it's up to you guys, you know, what do you think? Are we gonna continue with this?
It's not required, like.
I would almost say let's make them lifelong appointments.
No, because then that starts a precedent, you pull crap on other things with it. No,
Yeah, and
we don't want-
constable too, we'll put on there.
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, realistically, what do you
Unless-
guys think? Do we, I mean, are we gonna keep,
I would say let's not worry, let's eliminate those appointed positions
we'll keep them
Unless
on
there's
there,
a-
but,
unless
or do
there's
we
a,
take them off of there completely?
yeah, I'd say take them off there. I mean, they're not required legislatively anymore and.
Enough other rules yet followed.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Easier for me.
But if somebody opposes it, they can reach out to the select board and
We can
correspondence,
appoint them.
and they'll be appointed on the spot to those positions.
There is one here, probably fence viewers,
Yeah,
which you probably should keep.
I wondered, I was thinking, and that's, if
What's
there's
the-
a problem with a fence that was put up, then there's a committee, somebody that goes out and inspects that and then does a report and,
The tree
but
board
wouldn't that fall just under zoning?
Yeah,
or
It
BCA.
has, but
Yeah.
it would be
I think it would just fall under zoning.
diversified that.
If I were to say that maybe, you know, one of the justices of the peace should take that over.
Brent Smith.
There you go. Brent, you wanna be a fence viewer?
The history of the fence viewers was when there was a lot of agriculture. And so if Larry had livestock next to me and I didn't have livestock, then it was still my responsibility to help him maintain that fence. So it was there probably very few disputes like that now. Okay, but that was when the fence viewers would come and say, well, you know, you need to have a fence so that your animals, well, I don't have any animals, you could have animals, so they could get on his, so you need to share the cost of line fences. That's
Okay.
where,
And if more people kept their dogs in fences, we could still have a thing, but they don't, so.
Now we have a council. Now we have a council. So, Brent, can we pencil you in for fence viewer?
is there three?
Two? Oh, is there three? Oh, is there supposed to be three? I've got two
One
on the list.
It's like a-
retired last year, and we never found another one.
Sure.
All right, there you go.
This is
Brent,
why if we just do away with these, we
Brent
wouldn't have
Smith
to have this
said he
discussion.
would do it.
So then what about, okay, so
And we'll-
contracts to review,
All right, so this was just like a little reminder of when things are due, because we forget. And like the town cleaners, they're a 3-year term, and they expire at the end of 2024. So we'll wanna know that before budget
So
day.
we're gonna wanna put that out to bid
Yeah.
before budget.
you know what else should be on here?
What?
Since we're reviewing things is, there's our, ambulance contract. We always forget, remember?
Okay,
Well, I don't know that we always forget. I just think that
Well.
we send it late.
It is what it is.
Well, no, I know, but we always get an email, the last
Sure.
couple of years, we
Yeah,
get an
yeah,
yeah,
email
right.
that it was due and we
yes,
didn't.
okay, I got it here. And then the town mowers,
We just did.
is the end of year of 2027, and just putting it here because I was reviewing the contracts before we forget.
Okay,
And then the cemetery mowing, is the end of this season of 2024, so
Okay.
like October-ish. So you'll have to review
That
that.
this summer, put it out to
so the summer is good, but then it renews in October, okay.
So we're gonna need to.
No, it
No.
expires.
In
at the end-
October.
Yeah, the end of the season,
End of the
2024, which is October.
Yeah, that's what I said. If
Oh,
we're
so I
good,
thought you did
we're
too.
good for the season.
So
Yes,
I
yeah,
would suggest
okay.
for town
Sorry.
cleaners and cemetery mowing that in October of '24, they should be put out to bid.
Yep.
Yep.
And Tom Gandon, for the cemetery work, we've been lax on the contract with him.
Okay,
And I think his amount has changed, so it's
Okay,
definitely needs a
so we need an
contract.
updated
Yeah,
contract.
I think I've let the cemetery commission know that at one time. I think I let Sue know,
Yes.
so.
Okay,
And then the library building lease, you know, we should know when that matures. It started in 2021 and ends in 2031.
okay,
The fire truck was another lease that we have, and that expires in 2025.
so another couple of years.
And then the repro contract that renews, we did a 2-year contract, so that would, end in 25,
25,
yes.
okay, a couple more years, okay. Okay. Good,
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
got through that.
Okay, so moving right along.
I'd like to suggest that if there isn't any impactful needs from any of the departments, that we skip any of those departments. Just to,
Yep.
for sake of time. There's nothing major to report, just because we're getting close,
Right.
close to 8 o'clock.
We are,
I have one thing.
in hold on just a sec, yeah, so we just got the thing from Highway, did you see the email?
No, not yet.
And Larry, is to get set up with an email for,
Yeah, Gary sent me the info.
Okay.
I gotta go in and do it.
okay, good luck,
Yeah.
cause we all, it takes a while to get used to
Do
it.
you have
Don't worry
a,
about
do you have a computer too, or?
I do,
Okay,
I'm gonna do on my laptop.
okay, I think that's better than your phone,
That's what
is what we're
some
hearing.
extent,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So we got an email from Highway, I don't know if you saw it, and Harold just gave us an update that it's mud season, obviously, but the roads are holding up good. He's keeping an eye on stuff and making sure, and wanted to know if it would be okay if he could go haul sand, the winter sand now, and, which I thought would be fine, as long as you guys are all set with that
I don't have a whole lot of sand to haul, I don't think, but okay, sure.
for next year. So.
We didn't use a lot this year. As I say, we didn't use a
Well,
lot this year.
I think you end up using more, yeah, I use more than you think, though. But, yes, I agree. That's good. Well, budget should be down.
Hopefully.
But we'll get something else. And treasurer, you didn't really have, did you
No, I
have?
just, budgets I handed out, I didn't staple
Well, she
them,
said,
but I handed the budgets out, and I'm in for another term, and wanted to thank everybody.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a few things.
Are they like super?
Yes, they're
Okay.
very important.
All right, fine.
So my first thing is something that was brought up at the last meeting that I wanted to clarify. It was talked about the assessor, the assistant assessor /
Yes.
clerk
Yes.
assessor, all that confusion. And it was kind of a little bit implied that we had done something wrong. So I looked into it, and right on the Vermont Department of Taxes website shows the different scenarios for the assessor's office. And one of them is exactly what we do, assessor, and you have, usually includes having an assistant assessor, and then in parentheses was or clerk. So there was no play on words, there was no mistake, there was no issue, we did it properly. We have an assistant assessor to our assessor.
Okay,
So
good,
I wanted to clarify that.
good.
The other thing I have is town meeting yesterday, just gonna quickly say, I think it went well, I think it was probably maybe close to 100 people there, give or take, maybe a little less. The presidential primary, I put those results on the website and the town meeting. So about 26% of people voted, 186 total, 130 Republicans, 56 Democrats. As you know, we don't have to, you can pick whichever one you want at the time.
Right,
So that, everything went smooth, tabulator worked great, one little hiccup, but it was actually the person not filling in the circle, but putting an X. So really the tabulator did
great,
what it was
good.
supposed to do. And the night was easy, we got it all into the state and everything all set, so I think it was very successful.
Awesome, great.
Thank you,
And-
Carrie.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Carrie.
And everything was all set for today, got it all, the official results to the state and closed out everything for the election, so we can move on to the next one.
Okay, good.
Which is the school budget.
School budget, April 9th, most likely, they're having a meeting tonight, I think, to finalize that. They'll have their informational meeting, the Monday night before, and then the vote all day. We'll be set up in the gym and just set up half of it and be there from 10 to 7 again for the school vote on April 9th.
Okay, good.
And that's all I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I know Wayne was trying to,
I have one quick thing.
or Dorothy, or is this, oh,
This is
assessor, yep, I skipped you, sorry, my bad.
So I called today to see where our data quality studies stood, and Barb, the district advisor, said that they need more information. Lots more information. So the properties were all there, but now I've got to add like twice as much information. So I'm going to go back and redo that and then get it back to them. So it's a lot more work. And it wasn't, the whole directions were not clear. None of this was clear in what we received, so.
Did they give you a deadline, or?
Oh, no, I said it wouldn't be today or tomorrow, and it's probably gonna take me at least 2 or 3 days or a week to get it done. There's just, and it's all information I've got, but I've gotta get it all on the computer, and instead of just saying like, 3 or 4 properties we found were 90%, or whatever, they wanna know each property, they wanna know lots more information about each property.
Okay.
So, more work, so it'll get
Yeah,
done.
okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Wayne, I know you were.
Just quickly, we had 2 people go to ice rescue training over on the Champlain Islands, came back with rescue technician certification. We've got 2 other people on the EMS side that are going for EMTAs, ongoing training right now. And then we got coming up in May, a major regional fire school right down here at BMU, so we should have hopefully a good crowd go to that since it's in the neighborhood.
Okay, great.
And I'd also like to ask permission, we've got potential of 400, 450 students coming into BMU that we possibly use our fire station and the community building as an outside satellite site if we need to. I don't know what the subject's gonna be, but,
Like classrooms?
Classroom.
I think that's I would make sure that you get, so they're doing, for the fire school, looking to use the community building for additional training space. Yeah, so.
Yeah, Dorothy talked to me and I looked at the calendar and marked it off.
As long as it's on the calendar, I don't see any issue with that. I mean, that's perfectly fine, yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. So constable, we have anything
Taken care of.
under that, okay. Library, okay, zoning,
Okay, I talked to Sherry Dana this morning. I
okay,
had spoken to attorneys, 2 different attorneys from Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns and 2 other attorneys that have long land contracts. She understands now, quitclaim deed. She's gonna contact the 2 adjoining landowners.
oh, great,
The question of whether Terry owns that or not goes out the window with adverse possession. He's paid taxes on it for more than 15 years.
Yep.
He owns it.
yep,
Okay, so she understands that now. She also understands that the town attorney will not be involved. So
okay,
her attorney will draft up the deeds. If in fact the 2 adjoining landowners do not take the property, then it behooves the town to absorb it.
okay, okay,
Okay,
good,
that's it.
good,
Thank you, Dave.
good
Thanks,
thing,
Dan.
thanks for working on that. Dan, anything under health?
No, we're good.
Okay, maintenance, are we good? Okay, IT, we good?
Good.
Okay, planning commission, anything good? Ongoing grants, do we have anything we need to talk about with all the
We're still just waiting for V-Trans to approve the
that
permit.
permit?
So
Yeah.
I pushed back enough and our, engineer says, just wait, we'll, just gotta wait, so.
Okay, and I think that's that, open to public or other business, is there anything? Okay, follow-up speed sign, we haven't finished that yet. Some more time, set agenda for the next
Maybe you're
meeting.
open.
What?
Congratulate Larry, you're open.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was, yeah, so, congratulations, Larry, for our new selectman, 3 years, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and,
So for another 3.
yeah,
3, 6, 10, whatever.
yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
So next meeting is the 20th.
The 20th, and, what do we need to cover, what do we need on,
I think we
anything
just-
special on the agenda?
No, I think, only thing I, maybe just a small adjustment for the agendas moving forward would be to put constable, zoning administrator, and health officer all in the same space.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Since it's all the same
Right.
person, might
right.
as well just change it to Dan Webster on the agenda, but,
Right,
Okay,
no, but just maybe those together, that way, you know, we can give Dan the chance to get all of the stuff out at once.
yep. So you gotta sign orders, I don't know if everybody,
Yeah, I already signed orders, I need a motion to.
Larry, you have not added to the orders yet, so I think you'll do it next time. You
Okay.
certainly can view them, but, I don't have you on, I did it before.
Yeah.
So,
And if I have a motion to adjourn,
I'll move to adjourn.
I second.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Thank you.
I don't, do we need to have this